YouTube. We are back again this week for another video portion of the Daly Dose Sports Podcast. Hopefully you are enjoying these each week. I hope that everyone out there is doing well, staying healthy. We've got a little sports news for you this week, and then we are actually going to be talking a lot of NFL draft today on the show. So let's go ahead and get this whole thing started. Let's start off with the newest installment of The Last Dance that we saw on Sunday night on ESPN. Yes, the Michael Jordan documentary that has been coming out each Sunday night. It's been very, very interesting. And this last Sunday, it was interesting yet again. You know, I said last week that I personally believe if J.R. Smith had played at some point with Michael Jordan, he would either have known the score of the NBA Finals game that, he was playing in, or Michael would have broken him long before, like he had with guys like, say, Brad Sellers or Rodney McRae. And we had proof of that this last Sunday night. We had proof that Michael would have handled that situation, like I said, because in this week's installment, we saw Michael Jordan get the always, volatile Dennis Rodman to actually buy into the team concept and get on board and be somewhat of a team player. It also showed the mental game that the Bulls had to play with to beat the Detroit Pistons back in 1991. And I thought it was very interesting that when we saw all the physicality that Detroit played with and the way they would just knock the Bulls down and physically try to rough them up, which, by the way, has there ever been a team that prided themselves on being tough guys like the Detroit Pistons ever complain so much about how their legacy isn't quite what they wish it was? Like, every single Detroit Piston is like, we don't really get the respect that the Celtics and the Lakers and the Bulls get. Everyone hates us. What do you care? You're the tough guys. Why do you even care about that? Anyways, put that aside. I thought it was very interesting that when the Bulls were trying to get through the Pistons and they were struggling, they were getting beat up, that Michael Jordan told his teammates, here's the thing, whatever we do, we can't whine. You can't let them see you complain. You can't let them see that any of this is bothering us. What a distinct difference that is from what we see in the NBA today, because that's not what we see now. We see flopping now. Someone breathes on you, you drop, and you collapse like you just got shot. That is not at all the way Michael Jordan wanted his Bulls to play. They wanted to say, hey, doesn't matter if you knock us to the ground. We're just going to get up and we're going to knock our free throws down. Very, very interesting every single week. I'm actually looking forward to the next few weeks because I've heard some of the stuff that is coming. And there's some really, really good stuff that I think is coming in that documentary. Hey, brief side note, I need to mention this. We have a friend of the Daly Dose. Don't act surprised that we have friends here. And his name is Alonzo. He's actually down in Peru. And if you are watching on our YouTube channel, then you can see a print that Alonzo designed for me here in the Daly Dose studio. He sent me this picture of Michael Jordan hitting his shot over Craig Elo and the Cleveland Cavaliers back in 1989. Well, our friend Alonzo, hey, dude is blowing up big time. Get this. There is a story in Sports Illustrated right now. I'll actually leave a link for it on our website and on our YouTube channel. It is called How Michael Jordan and the Bulls Inspired the World. It is about some young kids living in Peru, but being pulled into watching the NBA by, Michael and the Bulls. And our friend Alonzo is actually one of the kids in the story. And get this, he also did the illustrations for the article. And I'm telling you, they are awesome. In fact, if you want to see his work, go follow Alonzo over on Instagram. His handle is at Guzman Barone, Guzman Barone. You'll recognize it because it actually says Illustrator on it. But I'm telling you right now, dude's work is phenomenal. I am so happy for Alonzo, and I'm so happy that somehow we have formed a friendship just through talking sports, our love of basketball. Hey, congratulations, Alonzo. And I'm telling you guys, go check out his work. You will be very, very impressed. And go check out the Sports Illustrated article that's over there. Really, really good article, really interesting stuff. Okay, let's jump into some breaking news because last week, Major League Baseball suspended Red Sox video replay system operator J.T. Watkins without pay through the 2020 postseason and stripped the Red Sox team of its second-round draft pick this year after they completed an investigation into allegations that Boston stole signs during the 2018 season. Hey, we knew this stuff was coming. Former Red Sox manager Alex Cora, who has mutually parted ways with the team back in January as part of the fallout from, the Astros stuff with the whole sign stealing scandal, he is suspended through the 2020 postseason as well, but only for his conduct while he was working with Houston, not with Boston. Kind of interesting. Cora and former Astros player Carlos Beltran were the key individuals in a scheme to place a camera near Houston's dugout and have players bang on a trash can to signal breaking pitches. Of course, Cora left Houston after the 2017 season, and then he managed the Red Sox to a 2018 title. But baseball commissioner Rob Manfred wrote in his report that he doesn't think Cora was aware of Watkins' actions. Okay, and he will not impose additional discipline. Cora said in a statement last week that he is relieved that these MLB investigations are concluded. Red Sox president and CEO Sam Kennedy said Wednesday that the team's 2018 championship isn't tainted at all as a result of the investigation, but he said the team's actions were still unacceptable. Once again, if they didn't do anything wrong, then why did you let your manager go? Cue investigation here by Major League Baseball, by the way. Cora is the guy that taught the Astros how to cheat, then came to Boston, and he just happened to win a World Series. But the only dirty guy here is some lowly video operator that was apparently just acting independently. I'm not buying any of this. I mean, next you're going to be telling me that no one in the Patriots organization was cheating except some independent ball boy or something. Wait, that is literally what happened. You know what? Only in Boston. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. We actually had a retirement that you might have missed last week. Hall of Famer Muffet McGraw is retiring as women's basketball coach at Notre Dame after 33 years. McGraw is 64. She went 848 and 252 at Notre Dame. She led the school to national championships in 2001 and 2018. The Fighting Irish won 67 NCAA tournament games under her. They made 24 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances under Muffet McGraw. McGraw says she's stepping away, said, she's just kind of tired. She's just had enough. She's getting older. Says she wants to remain active within the university, but, it's just going to be a retirement from coaching. You might remember, Notre Dame had a great rivalry in women's college basketball against UConn. The teams met 51 times. 8 of those were in NCAA tournaments, and the Huskies led the series. But don't forget that Notre Dame beat UConn 5 times in the national semifinals, including both of those years that the Irish did win the NCAA title. I mean, Muffet McGraw is a great coach. Don't care. Men's, women's, she could have coached anywhere. Already in the Hall of Fame. Phenomenal coach. Had that great rivalry with UConn and with Gino Auriemma. But here is my question for you concerning Muffet McGraw. Is Muffet McGraw, at least in the conversation for greatest names ever in sports? You think back to some of the greatest names. And yes, we could easily do a Daly Dose top 5 on this whole thing. But just off the top of my head, I'm thinking of some of the great names in sports. God Shamgod, Milton Bradley, Tommy Gunn, Peekaboo Street. Muffet McGraw is at least in the conversation, isn't it? That is a name that is pretty unique. That is a pretty special name. I think Muffet McGraw has to go at least on the list. Let's move over to the NFL. And yes, we're going to be talking NFL draft in just a minute, but we do have a little bit of news over this past week in the National Football League, aside from just the draft, because quarterback Tom Brady is now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. But it sounds like he's fitting right in down there, at least as a Floridian. According to TMZ, last week, Tom Brady had planned to visit the home of offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. But instead, Brady accidentally walked into the home next door to Leftwich without knocking, and then came face to face with the homeowner and realized he was in the wrong house. Of course, this comes after Brady was told the previous week by city employees that he couldn't work out in public parks in downtown Tampa Bay due to the whole stay-at-home orders. Now he is walking into the house of strangers. I mean, the good news, doing this in Tampa, if you know the population in Tampa, I mean, a number of Tampa residents are elderly. I mean, you do this in a different part of Florida, you do this in, say, Texas, yeah, you might not be going anywhere except in a body bag. But in Tampa, it's not quite as big of a deal. I mean, you walk in and it's like, oh, hi, Tommy, this actually isn't the right house. You're actually a few houses down, Tommy. Let's get you back on your rascal. Let's get you over to the right house. Do you need to change your Depends before you go? You can change them here if you need to. It sure seems like Touchdown Tommy found the right town to move in. Tom Brady is now like officially Florida man, just wandering into places he shouldn't be. Tom Brady fitting right in down there. Finally, it sounds like the New Orleans Saints are in discussions and are pretty close to signing free agent quarterback Jameis Winston. Of course, Winston was displaced in Tampa Bay when the Buccaneers signed Tom Brady last month. But by doing a one-year deal with the Saints, Winston would get to sit under head coach Sean Payton, great offensive mind there, and learn behind quarterback Drew Brees. He would fill the role that Teddy Bridgewater did, last year before he left for Carolina. But there aren't any starting quarterback jobs available. So maybe this is a great fit for Jameis to go to New Orleans, get some experience, learn by watching instead of being on the field and, making all the mistakes yourself. This might actually be a very, very good fit for Jameis Winston. Plus, I mean, Jameis has faced the Saints twice a year for the past 5 seasons. And believe me, he is used to throwing the ball to Saints players. He does it often. Okay, YouTube, this week on the show, like I said, we are going to be breaking down the NFL draft. We're going to be handing out some winners and losers from what ended up being a very memorable draft. I know it's kind of weird circumstances, but it was a really memorable draft. And then we are actually going to be talking some left-handed quarterbacks in the NFL this week on our Daily Dose Top 5. So make sure that you go check out the rest of the podcast. I will leave a link to it, and I will also leave a link to that article in Sports Illustrated. Make sure you go check that out as well. Go follow our friend Alonzo on Instagram. You're going to love the stuff that he does. He does great work. Hey, thanks for watching here on YouTube. Stay healthy. Stay positive. I'll see you all next week.